Avatar: The Way of Water leaves plenty of storylines unresolved, and hopefully Avatar 3 will reveal the answers to the questions that remain. Warning: this video contains major spoilers for Avatar: The Way of Water. Avatar: The Way of Water introduces several storylines, but not all the plot threads are resolved by the end of the film, leaving Avatar 3 to answer any lingering questions. Co-written and directed by James Cameron, The Way of Water ends a 13-year wait for the highly anticipated Avatar sequel, returning to Pandora to explore new adventures and characters. Avatar: The Way of Water ends with quite a few unresolved storylines, including the identity of Kiri's biological father, a mystery that lingers throughout The Way of Water and keeps audiences guessing. With James Cameron promising 3 more Avatar sequels, there is plenty of time to answer some questions, but Avatar 3 must pick up where Avatar: The Way of Water leaves things or risk dragging certain unanswered questions on for too long. Who is Kiri's biological father? Kiri was adopted by Jake and Neytiri, though she grew up knowing her biological mother was Dr. Grace Augustine. What's unclear is who Kiri's biological father is. Even when Kiri connected with Iwa, Grace wouldn't reveal his identity. This secrecy surrounding Kiri's biological father suggests he's someone the audience already knows, perhaps even a figure from the first Avatar, or someone who hasn't yet been introduced. Whoever it may be, the identity of Kiri's biological father is an important aspect of Avatar's future, considering it's shrouded with such mystery. Avatar 3 should answer the looming question to avoid dragging the mystery out for too long. Why does Kiri's connection with Pandora work differently? This may have to do with the identity of Kiri's biological father, but she is able to connect with Pandora in a way that is wholly unique to her. The other Nausicaa are incredulous that Kiri's connection allows her to control the surrounding nature, bidding them to attack the humans attempting to harm her and her family. She's also able to feel Iwa in her body, which suggests Kiri's more in tune with the beating heart of the planet than anyone else. It's unusual, but it's possible Kiri's deep connection is affected by the circumstances of her birth, which remain elusive, though it might have something to do with Iwa directly. Why did Spider save Quaritch? Why Spider saved Quaritch may seem obvious, because he's Spider's biological father, but there's potentially more to his choice. Spider knows the threat Quaritch poses to Jake and his family, and saw firsthand the violence he wrought. It's possible Spider's decision has to do with his tense relationship with Neytiri, who was seemingly willing to kill him if Quaritch harmed her child. A son for a son. Regardless of that charged moment, however, Spider had no true personal connection with his biological father, and returned to the side of the Sully family shortly after saving Quaritch. Hopefully, Spider's decision, which won't bode well for Pandora, will be explored further in Avatar 3. Will Spider tell Jake and Neytiri he saved Quaritch? While Spider returned to be with Jake's family at the end of Avatar: The Way of Water, he didn't mention he'd saved Quaritch. Jake and Neytiri likely believed him dead, but if they find out Spider went out of his way to save Jake's mortal enemy, he won't be pleased, and the Sully patriarch could see Spider's actions as a betrayal. It's possible Spider will keep that information to himself to remain in the good graces of Jake. However, the truth will be revealed sooner or later, and it's possible Avatar 3 will shed light on Spider's actions. Whether it's Spider who comes clean to Jake and Neytiri remains to be seen. Will Payakan be welcomed back by the Tulkun? Loeke befriended Payakan during Avatar: The Way of Water, and he was appalled the young Tulkun was exiled by his species. Following the assault on the Tulkun by Captain Scoresby and Quaritch, however, Payakan aided in the fight against them. Will this be enough for Payakan to be welcomed back by the Tulkun? It seems rather unfair Payakan would be shunned by the other Tulkun, especially after having helped bring down the humans hunting his kin. Considering it was such a big aspect of The Way of Water, Payakan's future and fate with the other Tulkun will have to be addressed in Avatar 3. Will Jake and Neytiri unite the water clans against Quaritch? Jake and Neytiri received a hesitant welcome when seeking refuge with the Metkina clan. However, after Tanawari and Ronal saw the threat humans posed to them and other clans, things seemed to change. With that in mind, Jake and Neytiri could bring Pandora's various water clans together to protect their planet against Quaritch and the RDA in Avatar 3. It's unclear whether the other clans will trust Jake or if they will retreat instead of fight, but considering some of the clans' homes were destroyed while Colonel Quaritch searched for Jake, they might choose to join the battle. All told, it's a storyline that could take precedence in Avatar 3. How will Amrita come into play in Avatar 3? Captain Scoresby revealed the reason Tulkun are hunted and killed is for their Amrita, a yellow substance located in the Tulkun's palate that stops aging and is paying for the humans' way of life in Pandora. This is crucial information that is barely touched upon in Avatar, The Way of Water, and which could prove immensely useful in Avatar 3. After all, the humans are colonizing Pandora, and that includes the theft of its natural resources. The Way of Water wouldn't have included it if it wasn't going to be expanded on in future sequels. It's possible Scoresby will be more aggressive in his hunt to sell it off. Could Neytiri ever accept Spider into the family? Though less explored in The Way of Water, Neytiri didn't consider Spider a member of her family because he was human, an alien and outsider in her eyes. She was seemingly willing to sacrifice Spider if it meant saving her own child, and it's doubtful their strained relationship will get better if she learns Spider saved Quaritch. However, that doesn't mean there isn't any hope. Avatar 3 has the opportunity to explore their dynamic further, and perhaps with some time or the length of the third film, Neytiri's animosity towards Spider might change. Either that or things between them will only get worse. Only Avatar 3 has the answers. Will the Sully family ever return to the forest? Jake, Neytiri and their family deeply missed their home in the forest, and settling in the reef and learning the Metkayina's way of life proved difficult at first. However, the end of Avatar, The Way of Water didn't indicate whether Jake and his family would ever return to their home with the Omaticaya. If anything, the film's ending suggests the Sully family would make their stand alongside the Metkayina instead of returning to their previous home. While this makes sense for them currently, Avatar 3 should address whether Jake and Neytiri will ever go back to the forest once the human threat is eradicated, even if it's for a short while.